Khan's rider is within this heavily guarded warehouse.
Okay. We're gonna try to do this with some gameplay. It's part of my training of the brain. So, this is a response to John Strife says. John Strife? No, Josh. Sorry, I didn't mean your cousin. Josh Strife says,
Look for the detained rider.
I fully agree with everything he says because I am in that exact boat. There is just an asterisk to that because it's one of those things where, yeah, you don't need to know everything, but you do need to know a lot. And yes, it is mentally draining, but sometimes you don't have a choice. So what do I mean by this? I've been watching your channel for a very long time because you give some very insightful talks. You're very knowledgeable, and I do appreciate the way you come off of explaining things in a neutral, well, not necessarily neutral, but I guess a healthy way, I guess is the best way to put it. More like a therapist, talking to people. But there's sometimes where you do need to know what's going on so that way you can make the right decisions in life, or at least be informed of what you're consuming. And I mean that in the broadest sense. So like I know on your channel you play Diablo, and you probably didn't know this, or maybe you did and you didn't care because your nostalgia goggles were on, but Blizzard and Activision was basically Epstein's Island 2.0. There was over 700 sexual assault allegations, baby milk drinking and stealing, mass surveillance of its workers, and a myriad of other controversial things like Bobby Kotick himself doing physical threats through text messages because he wasn't getting what he wanted. So I did not support Activision Blizzard because I knew all that for many years. The last Call of Duty I played was Infinite Warfare, and then I just stopped buying Call of Duties and supporting Activision Blizzard because I wanted to have my wallet speak for at least me, full knowing that it's the #1 selling game consistently every year. Just about every year, because obviously there's some caveats like Elden Ring. Elden Ring outselling Call of Duty, but that's a rare occurrence. We can't ignore what we consume or ignore every not every drama, but you have to know the ins and outs sometimes of what you consume.
What?
So like for me,
And obey. Let's follow me.
I also know about how we consume our food
That's it. Get down.
here in America, where we have factory farms and they're the most inhumane places to not just work at, but it's poor, poor health. What's the word I'm looking for? I guess the best way to put it, it's bacterial infected. It's not regulated correctly. And, you know, thanks to our
All right.
coming up president, his previous years as president, he deregulated our meat. And I have noticed, I have had my food have teeth from pigs or, you know, some dirty meat. But I know what I'm consuming, so I do just work around it because, you know, I have to eat. But I know the dirty of the in and outs that goes on here in America, including the abuses in the music industry, entertainment,
I have found our man here.
Retrieve the target and get him
what
out
have
of
you.
here.
The criminal had to go.
Then I have to choose what I choose to support. So like right now I'm playing on PlayStation. I know for a fact my PlayStation was made in a Chinese sweatshop because that's what
The criminal had to go.
um
Kept it quiet.
that's where they're made from. That's where all our not anymore, but before COVID, that's where 90% of our phones were made. Including, you know, you can turn to Nokia, you can turn to Korean made phones, Japanese made phones. They were made in China. Car parts are made in China because of you know, the slave work and all that. I know that my iPhone was made in a Chinese sweatshop to the point where I need to find a key card. To the point where Chinese people that worked in those factories, they would throw themselves off the building. In order to stop that, Apple just simply put nets around the building to catch people instead of, you know, making better conditions for the workers. We have to know all the evil deeds that we can, that a human capacity can, in order to make changes. Because yes, it is stressful, but you don't know what that stress is doing to another person around the world. So like, if you bought a wedding ring with diamonds in it, I'm sorry to say African children dug that up, unpaid, in a gang war filled country. Or like there's so many examples I can give. Sorry, I'm getting all the loot. There's so many examples I can give that would absolutely stress a person's mental fortitude. And you should limit yourself when you're starting to get overwhelmed. For me though, I can't, because there's so many problems that needs to be fixed. And much like I research all the problems, I also research all the solutions. So like we can talk about climate change and how we have a lot of plastics in our seafood because companies throw plastics in the ocean to the point where there's a Texas-sized plastic patch in the I think it's either Pacific or Atlantic, I forget which. I know there's a patch in each ocean though, in the Pacific or the Atlantic. I just don't know which one's the Texas size.
Got this bag.
Is he gonna make a run? I don't think he can. Hold on. Okay. AI kind of done. Oh yeah, I'm glad I came out of here. All right, let's go. It's hard for me to say limit yourself on information that you consume, but everything you said is correct. Worrying about all this stuff, it sucks. And we as humanity should trust our governments to do the right thing, but they don't. And if we choose to ignore it, we will end up in essentially a cyberpunk situation where corporations rule like it is happening right now. Oh, hell.
With the alarm comes law enforcement. Get ready.
Grab the bag.
I want my loots.
Protect the rider.
I know.
Now the team of specialists inbound. The SWAT vehicle has arrived.
Be aware. Watching for the police van.
The only thing I wish that people as a whole does is not just listen to the information they are given. So like I watch Piers Morgan religiously. Not because I agree with Piers Morgan or I look forward to my side owning Piers Morgan or anything like that. It's because I'm trying to listen to what's the current conversations happening. What is the mainstream? What is my side currently saying? What's the current rhetoric? And then I have my phone at the ready to look up for anything that I hear that when a person makes a claim or you know, if I know alternate facts to the situation to where I can make an educated take, I make sure I'm correct on that take. I look up the information that I know of to make sure it's correct and from a trustworthy source. But also I look at the alternate facts to see where their information comes from. I don't trust Twitter. I use Blue Sky, but even I don't trust Blue Sky's
On the lookout for a van bringing cops.
information because I go out of my own
I will carry
to
this
look
on.
for the information. Now it's easier for me to say all this because I'm disabled
Riders promptly
with nothing to do but play games, watch movies, and you know, just watch the world around me through videos, reading articles, all that.
seems the rider will make it. The objective is complete, and our opposition has quite the reduction in personnel.
Your sentiment is 100% correct. I, however, cannot endorse what you say because I'm someone who thinks people need to be more informed. Because if they were more informed, the current elected president would not have been elected. Because there's so many things like we're talking about he was Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. We're talking about him walking in on the beauty pageants, both the older and younger. We're talking about how many businesses he's failed. Talking about his connections to the Russian mob, where his towers were failing and the mob came in and bought all the rooms. There's his ties to Saudi Arabia, which, you know, we can get through a whole thing about that, where his son's got $2 billion. There are so many facts that I know that the public doesn't know. Or like to bring a controversial topic, Gaza. Everyone thinks he's going to be anti-war for Gaza when we know specifically he says that not only Netanyahu should go further, but he will help annex the West Bank. So it's things like this where from where I'm standing, I cannot endorse, chilling out, don't consume so much. You can limit the way you take in drama. Like if you don't, like with the Mr. Beast drama, with all their with all that stuff that's happening, you don't need to know that Mr. Beast is a YouTube guy, an entertainer. You don't need to care about no. See, even that is hard for me to say no, you shouldn't care about that, because there are abuses reported during his Squid Game controversy, and we shouldn't support that. Then, of course, him going into business with Logan Paul with his crypto scams and starting with the controversies of the suicide forest, going all the way back there, and how he was just beyond racist in Japan, throwing Pokeballs at Japanese people and, being a menace, giving tourists a bad name. This is... See, me knowing all that helps me say, hey, you shouldn't support Logan Paul. But if you blind yourself to that, you may support Logan Paul. You may buy that drink that he has, that Prime, or whatever it's called. It's hard for me to say don't let the news consume you. Because if people were more informed, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in right now, with the climate change, with all the wars that are going on, with the falling for propaganda. It's hard for me to say no, and say definitely take breaks, for sure. I have mental breakdowns. I've punched holes in my walls, through my phone, yelled and screamed in the air, for sure. It's causing me mental breakdowns. That's 100% fact. But because I know the ins and outs of going on in the world, I'm able to limit my controversial support of things. So, like, obviously, again, I'm playing the PlayStation. I know it's made in Chinese sweatshop. I have an iPhone. I have a computer. Guaranteed it was made in a Chinese sweatshop. But I'm able to limit what I support. So, like, I don't shop at Amazon because of their work abuses. I will go out of my way to pay more at different places because I do not support Amazon. Or like, let's get to a less controversial topic. The PlayStation, their anniversary thing where they're selling the classic controllers and the classic PlayStations and all that. I know of several shops that will do it for a fraction of what PlayStation is asking to turn my PlayStation into a classic one. I can buy a $130 controller that is PlayStation Classic themed. I know where to get all that stuff. I have a lot of custom controllers. I'll definitely have to show them. I have a lot. Only because then the reason why I have a lot is because of my disability. All I do is play games, so I wear them out. But yeah, all in all, you are 100% Joss Strife, but I can't endorse it.